Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive with us. Today we'll be tackling, I think, a pretty fascinating topic.
Yeah.
And that is the idea of karma.
Yes.
And particularly from a Buddhist perspective.
Absolutely.
I think for me at least, and I'm curious if you find this too, when I hear the word karma, I often think of that saying, what goes around comes around.
It is very common.
Right.
And it does kind of sum up a little part of it. But hopefully through this deep dive, we can show you what karma is on a much deeper level.
Well, and it can feel, I think, a bit abstract sometimes, right? Like, what does it really mean to say that our actions create karma?
And that's where we come in. So what's so fascinating about karma is that it's not some kind of mystical force operating outside of us.
Yeah.
It's really about understanding cause and effect in every aspect of our lives, our thoughts, our words, and of course our actions.
Okay, so we're not just talking about like the big life-altering decisions. We're talking about like even just offering a kind word or like snapping at somebody.
Every little thing
has an
those have karmic impact.
Exactly. It's like each of those seemingly small moments is creating a ripple in the pond of our lives.
Oh, that's good.
And those ripples, they eventually come back to us and shape our experiences.
That's interesting because that does make me think about those like pay it forward stories.
Yeah.
Where it's like one act of kindness leads to, kind of this chain reaction.
Exactly.
Could that be seen as an example of karma in action?
Absolutely. It highlights that key principle of karma.
Okay.
Every thought, word, and action generates energy that attracts similar energy back to us.
Okay.
You could think of it as planting seeds in a garden.
Oh, okay.
What we plant is what we'll eventually harvest.
So if we're constantly planting seeds of negativity, whether that's anger or judgment or selfishness.
Unfortunately, yes.
Then we're setting ourselves up for,
not a great harvest.
Rough harvest down the road.
Yeah.
But the good news is, we have the power to change what we plant.
Okay.
Even if we've spent years cultivating a garden of weeds, we can start planting seeds of kindness, compassion, and forgiveness.
That's reassuring. That means that we're not stuck with whatever karma, quote unquote, we may have accumulated.
Exactly.
We can actually actively shape the future through present.
With the past.
Precisely.
Instead of viewing karma as some fixed scorecard of good and bad deeds, think of it as this dynamic process of growth and transformation. It's less about punishment and reward, and more about understanding the natural consequences of our choices.
So it's not about walking on eggshells, being so afraid of making a wrong move.
Right.
It's about understanding how our actions create these ripples.
Exactly.
And choosing to create ripples that will lead to, a more positive and fulfilling life.
Exactly. You've hit the nail on the head.
Awesome.
Yeah. And speaking of creating those positive ripples, that brings us to mindfulness. It's a powerful tool for becoming more aware of the seeds that we are planting moment to moment.
Mindfulness.
Yeah.
It seems to be everywhere these days.
Right.
What does it actually mean in the context of karma?
Yeah.
Is it about like emptying your mind completely?
It's not really about emptying your mind, but more about becoming a compassionate observer of your thoughts, words, and actions without judgment.
So like a scientist observing an experiment.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It's about noticing those automatic reactions, like getting annoyed in traffic or feeling envious of a coworker's success. And then with that awareness, you have the power to choose a different response.
Oh, so like instead of sending that angry email. I can take a breath and think, okay, what am I really feeling right now?
Exactly.
What's my intention in responding? What kind of karmic seed do I want to plant here?
Exactly. It's about pausing that autopilot mode that we so often operate on and making a conscious choice. It's like having that inner pause button so we can respond skillfully instead of just reacting habitually.
That makes me think about something I read about the power of like a smile.
Oh, yeah.
It was talking about how just like a simple smile can like completely shift the energy of a room.
Absolutely. That's a perfect example of how small actions can have a big impact. When you consciously choose to smile, even if you don't feel like it at first, you're planting that seed of joy, connection, and positivity, and that energy ripples outward, influencing the people around you and even coming back to you in unexpected ways.
Okay, so mindfulness helps us to see the karmic seeds that we're planting.
Yeah.
But how do we actually change those habits?
Sure.
What if my garden is like pretty overgrown with weeds of, impatience and frustration?
Well, your karmic toolkit.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty well stocked. Buddhist philosophy emphasizes several powerful practices.
Okay.
And one of the most transformative is cultivating compassion and kindness.
Compassion and kindness, that sounds great in theory, but how do we make it a reality?
Yeah.
Sometimes, like even being kind to myself feels like a challenge, let alone extending it to others.
It starts with recognizing that we're all connected, that we're all sharing the human experience with its ups and downs.
Right.
And it doesn't require grand gestures.
Right.
Every interaction, no matter how small, is an opportunity to plant a seed of kindness.
Right.
It could be holding the door for someone, offering a genuine compliment, or simply listening with an open heart when someone needs to talk.
So it's about finding those little moments to connect authentically.
Exactly. And it's not just about being kind to others.
Okay.
It's also about being kind to yourself.
Okay.
Offering yourself that same understanding and compassion you would offer a loved one.
It almost feels counterintuitive though, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm being too kind to myself, am I not just going to become complacent and lazy?
That's a common misconception. True compassion isn't about letting yourself off the hook.
Okay.
It's about acknowledging your own struggles with kindness and understanding, which can actually motivate you to grow and become the best version of yourself.
So we've talked about mindfulness, kindness and compassion. What about forgiveness? Where does that fit into the karmic toolkit?
Is essential, especially when we've been hurt or wronged by others.
Right.
When we hold on to anger and resentment, we're essentially clinging to those negative karmic seeds, letting them take root and poison our own garden.
So it's not about condoning the action, but about freeing ourselves from carrying that negativity.
Precisely. Forgiveness allows us to release those negative seeds, creating space for healing and growth.
Yeah.
It's like choosing to plant flowers in a patch of weeds.
I've heard it said that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself.
Yeah.
It's not about the other person.
That's a powerful way to put it.
Yeah.
Holding on to anger hurts us more than anyone else.
Right.
Forgiveness is a powerful act of self-compassion.
So alongside mindfulness, kindness, compassion, forgiveness.
Yeah.
Are there any other tools we can add to our kit?
Absolutely.
To help us cultivate a more positive karmic garden?
Gratitude is a game changer.
Okay.
It's about shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have.
Right.
Instead of dwelling on what's missing, we can appreciate the abundance that's already present in our lives.
Yeah, I can see how that would make a difference, because when I feel grateful, I just naturally feel lighter.
Exactly.
More optimistic. It's almost like those negative thoughts just don't have as much power over me.
Exactly. Gratitude is like shining a light on all the good in our lives.
Yeah.
And that positive energy attracts more good. It's like tuning our internal radio to a station of joy and abundance.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So we're training our minds to focus on the positive, which then in turn creates more positive reality.
You got it. And another powerful tool is setting positive intentions. Before we act, we can pause and ask ourselves, what's my motivation here? What kind of energy do I want to bring to this situation? It's about aligning our actions with our deepest values.
So it's like that mindful pause we were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
We're consciously choosing the seeds we plant.
Yeah.
Instead of just letting them scatter.
And to help nurture those seeds, it's helpful to cultivate daily rituals that ground and center us. It could be meditation, journaling, spending time in nature, anything that helps us connect with our inner peace.
Those sound like great practices. They help us to create a space for reflection and remind us of what really matters.
That's the key. By integrating these practices into our lives, we're not just transforming our own karma, but we're contributing to a more positive and harmonious world for everyone.
That's a powerful reminder that our actions have a ripple effect.
Yes.
Reaching far beyond ourselves.
It's all interconnected.
This has been such an insightful deep dive into karma.
Me too.
I feel like I have a whole new understanding of this concept.
Yeah.
and how it applies to my daily life.
It's exciting.
For our listeners who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed, what's one key takeaway you'd like to leave them with?
Remember, you are the architect of your karmic journey.
Okay.
It's not about blaming the past or fearing the future. It's about recognizing the power of your present moment choices.
Okay.
Start small.
Yeah.
Be consistent and trust the process.
That's such an empowering message.
Even small conscious shifts toward kindness, compassion, and mindful action can create a brighter future, not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. So, dear listeners, what small act of kindness or intention will you choose today? Let's start planting those seeds together and watch them grow. Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive into karma.